I'm sleepy, so bear with me.
That's a pretty common theme around here, man.
Yeah.
Getting to sleep is a little tough.
Past my bedtime.
I think Dom, when he just they pulled him right out of bed, like he was still like.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
I'm
rough. That's funny.
same.
Want to sympathize.
Well, listen, talk about it. I mean, obviously, welcome back. We're all happy to see you again. All the fans are happy you're back. Familiar feeling, but obviously everything's completely different than it used to be, right, with fight week. But what's your emotion like right now, being back after this time away?
I'm excited. I'm focused. I have a pretty intriguing opponent and matchup, in front of me, and I'm excited to be here.
What ultimately got you to pull the trigger? I mean, I feel like along the way there may have been some questions about whether you wanted, like whether you still had the passion or wanted to do this. So what ultimately leaned you in the direction to say, yeah, let's get back in there?
I've continued to grow. Like, there's so much to learn. Even after having done this for over like 2 decades, I'm continuing to learn and grow as a fighter, and that's what pushes me. And to come out here and put my skills on display, the things that I've been learning, tested against other dudes in the cage. That's like that's what intrigues me.
Obviously, this past year has been crazy, man. 2020. Did the pandemic change anything in terms of like you either wanting to do this or you? I don't know. Did it impact your life in any way that led you to this direction?
No, I mean, like, I didn't. I've been trying to fight. Like, I was supposed to fight in December of last year, and I had a torn retina, so I had to get that taken care of. But I was all in. I had done almost a full training camp leading up to that fight, and then I couldn't fight, and I had to get that taken care of. So, no, I've been trying to fight. It's just things are what they are, and fights get booked quite a ways out, and I've been on a skid. Like, I'm not as consequential in the ratings or the rankings these days, so they're not chomping at the bit to throw me in to fight at the moment. So got to get a win under my belt to be a little bit more of a hot commodity.
Well, maybe not as hot in terms of the rankings, but the fan support has been pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to experience that a little bit? I mean, I feel like people are talking about this fight as much as any fight on the card. Have you been able to soak that in a little bit?
Well, yeah. There's always, I have great fans. I have an awesome fan base, and I have a lot of people reaching out to me and just excited that I'm coming back.
Yeah. You talk about, I mean, you're kind of a lifelong martial artist, right? I mean, you're enjoying to test what you're learning, but are results imperative here, man? I mean, because you are popular, you are a legend in the sport, but is it like imperative I have to walk away with a win, or is it let's go in there and let's enjoy the process, let's feel good about what happens one way or the other?
There's a lot of different factors. I think that, it's like the work that I put in, and if it was just that, if it was just me, like, I could walk away, win or lose, I don't know. I don't actually know. As it's coming out of my mouth, no, fuck no. Like wins are important, right? Like, like on a lot of different levels. Financially, wins are important, just in the whole scheme of things. But the bigger part of that is my camp puts in time with me. My coaches put in work. My training partners put in work. It's not just me, and so I'm kind of carrying all of their effort on my back. And so going in there and giving anything less than my best or coming up short, that sucks, because I feel like I'm letting everybody down.
Yeah. You mentioned being intrigued by the matchup. I mean, so when they brought the name Court, did you get excited right away? I mean, a guy that's been in there for a long time as well. Did that fire you up?
It's like, to be completely honest, like, I'm like, Court and I are pretty cool. And I was like, is there anybody else? But then about 5 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? Let's go make money. Like, it doesn't matter. This is work.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Last thing for me, give me an idea. What's the ideal scenario in here, man? Is it to walk in and throw one punch and get back in the win column and walk out, or is it to go put on some kind of crazy battle that the fans love, that they're going to talk about for years? I mean, what's ideal here?
What do you think, man?
One punch to get out of there.
Hey, that'd be awesome. I don't know I don't know. Like,
but I like the easy way out.
Sure.
No, you want to put on the battle.
No, I don't want to. I want to walk. I want to win. I want to get the finish one way or another. But how I think things are going to play out, I think it's going to be wild.
Okay, man. John just mentioned about putting on fights that people talk about for years and years. I know you spoke about this earlier this week, but obviously the Nick Diaz fight is something that probably gets thrown at you all the time. 1-2-5 Diaz and all that stuff. You mentioned you were interested in a rematch. As the winner of the first fight, why would you want to run it back?
It's still an intriguing matchup. Like, you know, just style-wise, the first time around, it was kind of like a tactical challenge that we had to, like, he's an interesting guy to figure out. So there's that. We also have the history. It'd be a big fight.
If you fought him again, do you think there'd be some pressure from the fans to expect you to get rid of the tactical side and just get in there and sort of trade punches in the pocket with him almost?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, I'm gonna fight smart. You know, I think I fought smart the first time, and you know, hopefully, there'd be a more decisive outcome.
Would you still throw a spinning shit?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it actually wasn't even that effective in that fight.
He just complained about it.
Yeah,
Obviously, Nick's like social media and stuff like that for the past, I think, 5 years has been him in Vegas nightclubs, basically. Curious, don't know if you would know really, but in your opinion, what's worse for a fighter, taking 5 years off and drinking the whole time, or staying in there and taking punishment to the body in fights?
Probably getting punched in the head for 5 years straight.
To get in there and test
And he was probably sparring the whole time, so just because he wasn't fighting competitively didn't mean he's not getting punched. So there's that.
One of the themes of the last few interviews Dana's had is he has this quote talk with these fighters like Donald Cerrone and Diego Sanchez. I'm sure the two guys that you've known for a long time. So when you hear Dana White saying they need to pull them back and maybe have a talk about their future, what do you think about those comments?
Yeah, I mean that. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I think, they've taken quite a bit of damage in a lot of their fights, and like that was mentioned to me a little while ago on another interview, like in regards to me, because like kind of lumping me in with them. I've been on a skid. I haven't had a win in a while. I guess I would say the difference is I haven't taken damage in those fights. I haven't taken a whole lot of damage in those fights. I feel like I looked good. I mean, that last one I got my arm twisted back by Chiesa, but up until that point I was super competitive. I felt sharp. The fight against Magny, he edged me, but I felt, I didn't quite figure out the puzzle, but I didn't get my ass kicked. He just edged me out. I don't know how many fights. I guess I got beat by Maya pretty quick, but as far as like going back to your question, I mean it makes sense if dudes are just kind of past their prime and getting, taking lots of damage. It's something to be concerned about.
We spoke to Dan Hardy yesterday, and he said he doesn't want to see fighters like that are competing against like the young guys, like the Jake Matthews and the Nico Prices. Are you still interested in competing with these young guys? Do you like these fights like Court McGee, where guys that have been fighting for a long time that are names and maybe not like 25, 26 in the prime of their career?
Yeah, I mean, I would take it on a case-by-case basis, honestly. I wouldn't lump myself in. Even there's some similarities, but I wouldn't lump myself in with everybody. Like, I don't feel like I'm necessarily I'm not over the hill by any means. I think part of my lack of success as of late has been more, I think it's training camp. I think it's having to switch stuff up, and sometimes you have a formula for what's working, but things change and you have to switch it up. And I have been trying to do that. So, I think coming out, I think I'm going to show something pretty spectacular this weekend.
Unrelated to you, but Dan also wants a veterans division. What super fights? What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you necessarily need a division. I think that's what you have a matchmaker for, right?
Right.
Just to make fights that make sense and. Good.
I don't know if you saw, but Dan Hardy did a little video with GSP, and he spoke about, their fight in some detail. I don't know if you'd be interested in doing something similar like that, because I know he would.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Do you have a list of things left to accomplish in your career? I mean, is there like big list left that has to be done, or is this just kind of like see what comes on a fight by fight basis?
I'm not a big list maker, man. I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants and all this shit. That's like where the fuck am I? Like 20 years later, seriously.
Isn't there something to be said that you've been doing this for so long? Like, there can't be that many unique experiences left, but I assume flying to Abu Dhabi in a pandemic and being locked in a room for 48 hours is pretty unique.
Yeah, what do you mean there's not unique experiences left? I hope there's lots of unique experiences left. Yeah, it's different. I mean, it's been being locked in a hotel room for a while. I mean, like, whatever. I've been holed up in a hotel room for, plenty in my life, but it's a different story.
Not nearly as nice as hotels either.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, coming out here and doing like the whole Fight Island thing is definitely, it's different. I mean, it's like, like 9-year-old me would be super stoked about coming out to some island to fight on, to fight somebody. Like this is almost like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, 100%.
I feel like at this point in your career, everyone's they talk to you in this tone as if they're expecting you to wind it down any day now. And I know that's something you thought about before, but have you thought about if you could script a perfect way for you to retire, to walk away? Do you have an idea in your mind what that looks like?
I don't, but I want to go out and, I want to end on a high note for sure. Like, I don't know, I haven't won a fight since, yeah, it's been a while. 2015, it's like 5 years. So, it'd be nice to get some wins and put on some good shows and have some fun, like do some spectacular shit.
Is it weird that like when people talk to you like MMA royalty, you know what I mean? Like when people bring up your name, it's like among the legends of the game. And I know you might feel like, oh, I don't know if I've accomplished that, and you mentioned the losses, but I mean, every time I hear people talk about you, they talk about you with great reverence. I mean, do you see that? Do you feel that? And do you enjoy that?
What's cool is like watching up and coming fighters like at the gym, and they kind of have that. But what I really like about that is like I have something to share with folks like that. I see it more, because fans are, it's cool coming from fans, but what really like it resonates is coming from the younger fighters.
Speaking of hotels, I had to do a media tour with this guy in Albuquerque. I spend the night at a hotel. I go to pick him up, and I tell him what hotel is at. He's like, "Oh, that's the Haunted Mental Institute." I'm sorry, what?
No shit.
So that's what I think of when I think about hotels. I probably love it.
Great.
All right, ready for your next one?
Let's do it.
Here you got custom jeans coming out.
Yeah, bro. Check it. Look, I'm wearing them. Look at those. They're custom for you.